I've been told that this is the most important circuit I'll ever build. Not because it's complex, but it's supposed to teach me how circuits behave. All I have to do is make one LED light up with the stuff that I find in this box right here. How hard can it be? I open up the box and the first thing that I see is a 9-volt battery. Let's plug the LED in and see if that works. I mean, I should just be able to supply power, right? Why isn't that working? Let's flip it and see what happens. Oh, that works. So long leg has to go to positive and the short leg has to go to negative. But it looks like 9 volts is a bit too much power. Luckily for me, I happen to have a breadboard power supply, and this breadboard power supply has a 5-volt output. Let's see if that works. Nope, it looks like that's too much voltage as well. So how much voltage is actually enough to turn on one of these, and how much is too much? I'm going to use a cheat code to try and figure out how. This is a programmable bench power supply. It should help me to find out exactly how much voltage I need. Having used the bench power supply, I figured out that I need about 2 volts to turn it on, and if I have more than 2.1 or 2.2, my LED seems to not like it, and it seems to blow up. Well, where do I go from here? So what I have to do is I have to do what this thing did and supply 2 volts, but using the stuff in that kit. So quick theory, Ohms Law basically says that voltage is equal to current times resistance. And this thing supplies 5 volts. What the LED needs is 2 volts. 5 volts minus 2 volts is 3 volts. I somehow have to drop 3 volts in my circuit to make this work. Having read a datasheet, it basically told me that LEDs draw about 20 milliamps of current, and I need to drop about 3 volts. So using Ohm's law, 3 volts divided by 20 milliamps, it gives me about 150 ohms. I need to find a resistor that is 150 ohms or as close as possible. Luckily for me, in my kit, there are a number of values. The closest one that I can find is either 100 ohms or 220 ohms. Having blown up 2 LEDs so far, I don't want to risk it with 100. So my option, 220. Let's redo our calculations. The battery supplies 9 volts, the breadboard power supply limits it down to 5 volts, LED takes 2, I have to drop the remaining 3. So it turns out if I, using Ohm's law, 3 volts divided by 220 ohms is equal to about 0.0136 amps or somewhere along those lines, is what my calculator says. So let me connect the breadboard power supply and the resistor to the 5-volt rail. Next, let's place the LED and see if this works. That works. That's not blowing up, and that's reasonably bright. Perfect. And look at that, we finally have a working LED. Kirchoff's voltage law states that the sum of all the voltages, or the total of all the voltages dropped across a circuit, has to equal the supply voltage. So if I use a multimeter, what I should see is 5 volt supply, 2 volts across the LED, and that should leave us 3 volts across resistor. That is beautiful. Now let's see if Ohm's law works. So if I break the circuit, put my multimeter in between, and that gives us about right. Perfect. Kirchoff's voltage law checks out. Ohm's law checks out. We have a circuit. But let's see what happens if I change the resistor value. Looks like when I change the resistor value, the LED gets dimmer, and that's because it's more current now flowing through that circuit. 3 volts divided by 100 ohms is about 30 milliamps. That's a lot more and a lot brighter. So what have I learned today? I have learned that if my LED is not lighting, I should probably flip it, because the long leg is positive and the short leg is negative, because these things are polarized. Polarized basically means that current only flows one way, it doesn't flow the other way. If my LED is dim, then my resistor is too big, and if my LED is too bright or it blows, then the resistor is too small, and then powering an LED directly from 5 volts or a 9-volt battery is just going to break it. So I've built, calculated and verified my first circuit. In the next one, I'm going to take apart a breadboard and see how this thing works, so I don't mess up in the future on my projects. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.